The scent of popcorn lingered in the air as I nestled into Sarah's plush sofa, the soft glow of fairy lights casting a warm ambiance around us. My name is Julie, and I've always cherished the simplicity of my life with Mark, a man whose kindness made our home feel like a sanctuary. But tonight, as we watched a romantic comedy, the laughter and love on the screen stirred something within me, a desire to bridge the gap between fantasy and reality. As the credits rolled, I turned to Mark with a whisper, proposing a plan to make our dear friend Sarah feel cherished, even if just for a night. His eyes widened in surprise, but the seed of an idea had already taken root. What started as an innocent gesture of friendship quickly spiraled into something unexpected, something that would test the boundaries of our relationships. As I dimmed the lights and lit the candles, I couldn't help but wonder, how far would we go to make someone feel loved? The scent of freshly popped popcorn fills the air as I lean back into the plush cushions of Sarah's sofa. My name is Julie, and at 28, my life could be the envy of many. I'm married to Mark, a man whose kindness and gentle nature make our home a sanctuary of love and respect. We've been together for 6 years, a journey that feels like a dream. But tonight, it's not just about us. We're at Sarah's cozy apartment, a space filled with eclectic art and the soft glow of fairy lights. Sarah, vibrant and always the life of any gathering, has this sparkle in her eyes that belies a deeper solitude. She's single, and while she laughs and dances through life, there's a loneliness she can't quite mask. We've gathered to watch a new romantic comedy, one of those films where love seems to conquer all with a simple kiss. The screen flickers with scenes of couples falling in love, and as I glance over at Sarah, I catch her staring at the screen, her eyes reflecting a longing that tugs at my heart. The movie ends, and the credits roll. But the real world doesn't fade to black. Mark, ever the considerate one, gets up to refill our drinks, leaving Sarah and me in the dim light of the TV's glow. You know, Sarah starts, her voice softer than usual. It's funny how movies make everything look so simple. Love, I mean. Her words hang in the air, a stark contrast to the laughter that had filled the room moments before. I nod, understanding the unspoken. Yeah, real life isn't scripted, is it? I reply, reaching for her hand. But maybe we can make it a little easier for you, just for tonight. The movie ended, leaving us in a warm glow of shared laughter and the soft hum of the credits. Sarah excused herself to make more popcorn, and as she left, I turned to Mark, my heart heavy with empathy for our friend. Mark, do you think Sarah is lonely? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Mark, always observant, nodded. She seems to be, but she's strong, Julie. She'll find someone when the time is right. I wasn't so sure. An idea began to form. One that was unconventional, but driven by a desire to see Sarah happy. What if we could help her feel loved, even if just for tonight? I suggested, my mind racing with possibilities. Mark looked at me, puzzled. What do you mean? I leaned closer, my voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. What if we, gave her a taste of what it feels like to be cherished, to be the center of someone's world, even if it's just for a few hours? My suggestion hung between us, heavy with implications. Mark's eyes widened, understanding dawning on him. You mean, us? He asked, his voice a mix of surprise and curiosity. Yes, I confirmed, feeling a rush of excitement mixed with a twinge of guilt. We could make her feel special, show her the affection she's been missing. It doesn't have to be, explicit, just enough to let her know she's loved. Mark considered this for a moment, his gaze drifting towards the kitchen where Sarah was rustling with popcorn bags. With Sarah back in the room, I whispered to Mark, "Kiss her on the neck." His eyes widened in shock, but I gave him a reassuring nod. Reluctantly, he leaned over and placed a gentle kiss on Sarah's neck. She jumped slightly, turning around with a mix of surprise and confusion. "Julie, what's going on?" Sarah asked, her voice a mix of curiosity and concern. I stood up, dimming the lights and lighting some candles I had noticed earlier on Sarah's shelf. "I just thought you could use a bit of romance tonight," I explained, my voice steady, but my heart pounding. Mark, following my lead, kissed Sarah again, this time with more confidence. Sarah's initial shock turned into a soft smile, and she leaned into the touch. I watched, orchestrating the scene, feeling a strange mix of control and voyeurism. The room was now bathed in a soft, flickering glow, the candles casting shadows that danced on the walls. Sarah's eyes met mine, searching for an explanation, but I could only offer a smile, encouraging her to embrace the moment. Mark's hands gently rested on her shoulders, his touch light but meaningful. I could see the tension in Sarah's posture begin to melt away, replaced by a sense of being cared for, of being the center of attention. "Julie, this is unexpected," Sarah murmured, her voice a whisper that seemed to blend with the ambiance. I moved closer, sitting beside her on the sofa, my hand finding hers. "Sometimes life needs a little nudge," I said, squeezing her hand gently. "You deserve to feel cherished, Sarah, even if it's just for tonight." Mark, now more at ease, continued to show affection in small, tender ways. His kisses were like whispers on her skin, each one a silent promise of warmth and companionship. Sarah's initial hesitance gave way to a quiet acceptance, her body language softening, her breaths becoming deeper, more relaxed. I watched, a part of me feeling like a puppeteer, guiding the strings of this intimate dance. Yet, there was also a part of me that felt deeply connected to the unfolding scene, as if by helping Sarah, we were also exploring something within ourselves. The atmosphere in the room had shifted, now charged with an unexpected intimacy. I found myself joining them, not just as an observer, but as a participant. The boundaries of friendship and marriage blurred as we explored this new dynamic. Sarah, caught up in the moment, seemed to forget her loneliness, her laughter filling the room with a lightness it hadn't known before. Mark, ever the follower in our relationship, looked to me for guidance, his actions a reflection of my desires. I whispered instructions, each one pushing the boundaries further, testing the waters of what was acceptable. As the night deepened, the line between helping a friend and fulfilling a personal fantasy became indistinct. Mark's hands moved with a newfound confidence, his touch on Sarah's skin gentle yet exploratory. I watched, my heart racing, as Sarah's eyes fluttered closed, her breath catching in a way that suggested she was both surprised and delighted by the turn of events. I leaned in, my lips brushing against Sarah's ear. "Let yourself go, just for tonight," I murmured, my voice barely a whisper, laden with the thrill of the forbidden. Sarah's response was a soft sigh, her body leaning into mine, seeking the warmth and comfort we were offering. Mark's kisses traveled from her neck to her shoulders, his actions now more assured, following the silent cues I was giving him. I could feel the tension in the room, the air thick with the scent of candles and the unspoken promise of what could happen next. I guided Sarah's hand to rest on Mark's chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart through his shirt. "Feel that?" I whispered, my voice a mix of encouragement and seduction. "That's the heartbeat of someone who cares for you, even if just for this moment." Sarah's eyes opened, meeting mine with a mix of gratitude and something else, something wild and untamed. "Julie, this is more than I expected," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "It's okay," I reassured her, my hand now on her back, drawing her closer. "We're here for you, to give you what you as the night deepened." The line between helping a friend and fulfilling a personal fantasy became indistinct. Mark's hands moved with a newfound confidence, his touch on Sarah's skin gentle yet exploratory. I watched, my heart racing, as Sarah's eyes fluttered closed, her breath catching in a way that suggested she was both surprised and delighted by the turn of events. The room was silent, except for the soft music playing in the background, the candles casting shadows that danced on the walls. Sarah, now fully engaged, didn't resist. Mark, with a look of both confusion and excitement, complied with my earlier instruction. His lips met hers in a kiss that was tender, yet charged with an unspoken question. I watched, my emotions a tangled mess of jealousy, control, and a peculiar satisfaction. The act was not just about Sarah's loneliness anymore. It had morphed into something else, something darker and more complex. I felt a surge of power, orchestrating this scene, yet there was also a part of me that recoiled at the implications. Was I pushing too far? Was this really about helping Sarah, or was it more about exploring boundaries, about seeing how far we could go? Mark's hands moved to Sarah's waist, pulling her closer, and I could see the conflict in his eyes, the desire to please me warring with his own sense of right and wrong. Sarah's response was a soft moan, a sound that seemed to echo through the room, amplifying the intensity of the moment. I leaned in, my voice a whisper in the charged atmosphere. "Let yourself go just for tonight," I murmured, my words laden with the thrill of the forbidden. Sarah's body responded, her back arching slightly as she leaned into the embrace, her loneliness momentarily forgotten in the warmth of our attention. The atmosphere was thick with the scent of candles and the unspoken promise of what could happen next. I guided Sarah's hand to rest on Mark's chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart through his shirt. "Feel that?" I whispered, my voice a mix of encouragement and seduction. "That's the heartbeat of someone who cares for you, even if just for this moment." Sarah's eyes opened. In the days that followed, the dynamics of our relationships shifted. Sarah seemed happier, more at peace. But at what cost? Mark and I had opened a Pandora's box, and the contents were not easily contained. We continued. These encounters, each one a mix of thrill and guilt, a secret shared among us that bound us in a way none of us had anticipated. Our marriage, once a straightforward path of love, now had detours and hidden roots. Sarah, while grateful, carried the weight of our secret, her loneliness replaced by a different kind of solitude. She was no longer alone, but the intimacy we shared was shadowed by the complexity of our arrangement. As for me, I had orchestrated a scenario that was both liberating and confining. The control I sought had morphed into a new form of dependency, not just on Mark, but on the thrill of the forbidden. Each time we met, the excitement was palpable, yet so was the guilt. The lines between helping a friend and indulging in our own desires blurred further with each encounter. Mark, always the gentle soul, found himself caught in the middle. His actions, once guided solely by his love for me, now also reflected a desire to please Sarah, to make her feel cherished. His kisses, once reserved for me alone, now also sought to comfort Sarah, to make her feel as if she was part of something special, even if it was fleeting. The nights we spent together were filled with whispers and soft touches. The air was thick with the scent of candles and the unspoken promises of what could happen next. Each time, I felt a surge of power, orchestrating the scene. Yet there was also a part of me that recoiled at the implications. Was I pushing too far? Was this really about helping Sarah? Or was it more about exploring boundaries, about seeing how far we could go? The thrill was undeniable, but so was the complexity of our emotions. Sarah's initial hesitance had given way to a quiet acceptance, her body language softening, her breaths becoming deeper, more relaxed. Yet, beneath her smiles, I could see the conflict, the struggle between embracing this newfound affection and the knowledge that it was temporary, a borrowed moment of affection. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.